Alright, so it's turn 46, and you know what? This one went a lot better, especially over here, and it's because Nasajin tried to accomplish a lot, and he didn't quite manage it. So I cast Infernal Disease, and it paid off because I killed not really what I was aiming to kill, but I killed something valuable. I killed a Dactyl. A Dactyl is a slow-to-recruit, capital-only mage with a forge bonus, all kinds of cool stuff. It's one of Therados's most important mages, and I just murdered one. And so this is what a disease demon looks like. His stats are actually much lower than normal right now because he has this underwater penalty since he's not amphibious. He does swim, but he's not amphibious. But you see he's ethereal. He has these 2 touch of leprosy attacks, which normally are attack skill 14. Pretty impressive. He has a bunch of survivals, 100% dark vision, and is a plague carrier, so he causes disease to nearby units. And he can fly. Unfortunately, underwater, of course, he can't actually fly, so he just runs forward, and it gives the Dactyl time to drop all his buffs. Normally, he should jump to him about round 2 and start killing him, but the Dactyl, working off the AI, starts summoning ethereal warriors to send at him, and the disease demon can kill ethereal warriors very, very easily because... Phantasmal warriors, I'm sorry, because their entire defense is being ethereal. They have low defense skill and only 1 hit point, so if hit, they die, and both of his attacks are magic. So he literally just kills his way through the Phantasmal warriors until this Dactyl starts to fatigue out, and then he can push forward and kill another Phantasmal warrior, and push forward, kill another one. He does take a hit there, which hilariously diseases him, but being diseased doesn't hurt him at all. So he just pushes through, and the Dactyl slowly fatigues out, and eventually he charges in, goes into melee. He does get stunned there, so he actually comes really close to losing, but this Dactyl's attack skill is so garbage. You can see he is now diseased. So eventually, despite being disease resistant, he will still eventually die, but I don't have to wait for that because the disease demon kills him right here. So, great. Battle-wise, we lost Strongdale to Therados. We took Wick with our Bane and laid the siege to the fortress. White Forest was taken back by this little army of Theradoses that killed my province defense because they're all spectral. There was a battle in Polgrave, so this is just south of Hinnom, and this was he sent out his Yetis under the command of this Avite commander in an effort to retake provinces. He didn't count on running into this reinforcing army coming up because he couldn't see most of these units. So my guys just run forward and attack the Yetis, and as I've said before, Ulmish troops do really well against giants. So the Yetis just get massacred and run. Then in Old Man Mountains, I was also attacked. He split his forces further to do this by a single Baal with copper plate on and 4 imps. And unfortunately, I don't have anything here but province defense, so the Baal basically charges into melee, and he gets stabbed a little bit, but not all that much. He takes about 20 hit points worth of damage. Risky. Very, very risky, but to be fair, there was nothing else he could do at this point. So he does make it. He breaks through my province defense. He had lost about 2/3 of his hit points, but didn't get any afflictions, so no permanent damage. And then in Hinnom, this was the crucial one. This is the one that changed things. My skeleton horde ran into Ultimate Misfortune Strat, the Prophet, the son of Kokabel, who was patrolling by himself with his gear here. And this is just kind of whatever gear he could afford, Nasajin could afford to put on him. And it's not honestly very efficient. This guy relies very heavily on his fear to get people to run away because he can't kill people very quickly. And when he's surrounded, Body Ethereal is basically his only defense. I mean, he has high protection, but remember, my troops hit very hard. And since my skeletons are not vulnerable to fear, they surround him and chop him down. It's slow, it takes time, but they are not going to rout from fear ever because they have morale 50. And the Mound King has morale 30, so morale 30 means he's also immune to fear. He only routs from HP losses. So eventually, slowly, we cut this guy down, and he does die. Eventually, we punch through the luck and the ethereal, we roll high enough, and he's gone forever. That is what was stopping me. With him gone, we should be pretty easy. We got a free fort in Valrest. In Storn Woods, however, we have a horror cult now because I didn't stop this event from happening. I've heard that's really bad. I don't know what to do about it at this point. It's a problem. Probably, I imagine I'm going to need to march an army there to fight horrors or something, or maybe it's just going to spam horrors at me. It's pretty horrible. I should have tried to do something about it earlier, but I was just busy. So, yeah, that's that. We're recruiting these two guys. We're sneaking them down here to give them some gear. They won't actually be needed in Hinnom at this point because Hinnom is doomed. This guy, this Baal, maybe going to try to come and bust him out. I've got Hollow patrolling right now. But I'm actually going to move him over here with... I'm going to leave the bad skeletons. Those are the bad skeletons. We're going to take the good skeletons. Leave the bad skeletons. So Hollow will bring his good skeletons. And they will help out. The bad skeletons, basically, I'm going to use to patrol this province because I am beginning to blood hunt it. Agrowolf will also come with. And I will give him some nature gems so that he can buff up my troops and cast Swarm. And we'll leave those guys behind. We'll take that lady. Their morale 11, their morale 13. Yeah, she'll guard. These guys will guard Agrowolf. Great. And Agrowolf is still alive. That ring of regen keeping him around. Cambria the Barbarian is also moving in with his magic berserking weapon and his armor of knights and full gear and vine shield, so he should be able to do some work. And it's all going pretty smoothly, to be honest. I'm okay with it. Up here, my blood mages are continuing their move. They're all moving over here to Ripewoods, although the army did not come in to attack me like I had kind of expected them to. They moved up here. So there's 500 units up here. These guys are going to move along. This army, Marverni, if we look down here, the fortification in Marverni is unharmed. We need more men to breach it. That indicates to me that they took this whole army and shoved it into Marverni, because I do have 130 siege strength. So they've got significant troopage up here. They've got a Lord of the Wave. They've got their god commanding that army. I can afford to cast Infernal Disease like every turn. Literally every turn. So, like with no trouble whatsoever. And it costs 5 blood. I actually have 2 other mages that can cast it because it only costs the same blood level as Ritual of 5 Gates. So, I'm actually going to cast Infernal Disease on... Well, no, because it's underwater, and the Disease Demon is kind of garbage underwater. So, yeah, let's cast on Marverni instead. And as soon as I get my 2 Blood 5 mages down here, I will begin casting Infernal Disease 3 times per turn. And just murdering commanders. Any commander that he has above water, I will kill with Disease Demons. Spending 5 Blood Slaves to kill a mage is excellent, excellent value. So, I'm going to keep doing that. And the ability to spam that spell out 3 times a turn will be very, very useful. Also, I am going to start empowering other mages in blood in order to summon Demon Knights, because Demon Knights will also be useful to me. So, like Jordanes here, we're going to empower Jordanes in blood, since I have so many blood slaves sitting around. And we're also going to empower Helmheart. So these two, we can empower them in blood. We can hand them a Blood Thorn, which is a blood booster that I can forge very easily. And then they will be able to summon Demon Knights forever, which will be great. I've also got these demon troops up here because I cast Ritual of 5 Gates a couple of times, and I've also got all those just dudes just sitting there. So I need to kind of pull this army back and grab some of those other demon units and undead with one of my probably Child Feaster. Child Feaster's a happy fellow. I'm sure he'd love the chance to go get some more demons. He's got 29 imps with him at this point. Let's just swap out here a little bit. There you go. So yeah, we're pulling back from here because there's no point trying to hold this siege. We're pulling off of there to go here. We're going to see if maybe we can hit Centania and lock that down for a turn. We've got these guys locked down, and Atlantis has this fort locked down, which is great. We're storming this castle, so we should be able to take Illadar. Unfortunately, it has no income because the population is really low and because it's deep, deep, deep in his dominion. But it does have the Lantern Fens that give us a fire gem, which will be really, really nice because our fire gem income is still garbage, despite having found the tar pits. Down here, Uric needs to search for magic sites, and somebody should become the prophet, because we haven't had a prophet for a while, and a prophet would help. Should I make Seg the prophet, the blood mage? What I should do is have Seg forge a bloodthorn. In fact, just forge me a bloodthorn real quick, would ya? And you can have a hammer to do that. You can see I have a couple of my swords there. So, yeah, you forge a bloodthorn. Agwulf. We're going to have you're forging Boots of the Messenger. That's fine, but you're forging a Skull Staff. I would like you to forge me a Vine Shield to give to Ajivulf. And I think things are going to go well. So we're moving in our troops to make sure Hinnom stays thoroughly, thoroughly locked down. We are not going to make the mistake of going in half-cocked again. But this army... probably going to wait a little longer, to be honest. It's about 100 units or so. And he's lost his Yetis, he's lost Kokobel, which is hugely important. And he's lost his Baal is trapped out there, but could still pull a fast one with his 6 Amis in there. So I'm probably going to wait one more turn, put another lot of skeletons in, and also send in a couple of the warrior chiefs with the magical weapons to help kill people. So, that'll be the plan. And I will see you all in turn 47. These guys, to be honest, they might be able to hold it. Even if this army came out, well, ooh, they've got a Hound of Twilight they summoned. Hound of Twilight makes it more difficult. Because the Hound of Twilight is not MR negates for half on their attacks. And the Hound of Twilight deals quite a bit of damage. I'll tell you what, I'm actually gonna move both my Banes over there. And I think 2 Banes should be able to take it. We're gonna set them both back here to, so if the Hound of Twilight comes in, what we want the Hound of Twilight to come in first. So we're gonna hold and attack large monsters. Yeah. So if the Hound of Twilight comes in, what we want the Banes to both rush to the Hound of Twilight and axe it down as quickly as possible. And then they can deal with the ghosts. Okay. That'll be it. That'll be the turn. See y'all in turn 47. Okay, so it's turn 47, and the war against the ghosts continues. There were some very, very interesting battles this turn. First of all, I cast Infernal Disease, and I did hit my target, which was a Telkine. Unfortunately, that Telkine... This Telkine is disease resistant and a healer, so she'll heal diseases immediately, carrying a whole bunch of gems, and has this regeneration bless, so she regenerates. So the disease demon charged in without the regen bless, might have been able to do it, but with the regen bless, they fought for a while. She did end up diseased, but like I said, it's not going to hurt her because she will heal the affliction away very, very quickly. And he wasn't able to do enough health damage to inflict any more afflictions, and eventually she got tired of fighting in melee and summoned an earth elemental, which trampled the disease demon to death. So that was a little bit of a waste. I lost Mother Oak this turn. Therados took it, which is okay, to be honest. I can handle that, probably. I have empowered a couple of mages in blood, a couple of earth mages in blood, which is fantastic. In Illadar, I bounced a couple of commanders, so that is right down here, this fort that I just captured, actually. And we can see there was a battle at the Fortress of Illadar. Only a few units inside, basic province defense, which we wiped out. Albeit this E4 did banish quite a few of my long dead. In Dubros, our warrior chiefs took out province defense. They're just bouncing around, causing havoc, being nuisances with their gear. Basic gear, but solid. They both have 3 reinvigoration. So they will fatigue out only very, very slowly. And they move quickly. And they go in and they kill things with their brands. And with their shields, they are hard to kill back. Although not anything like invincible. I lost a couple of scouts there. So I'm besieging Boggerwold with Rend, and that is because you can see there was a battle in Rend. Where was it? It was in Boggerwold, actually. So that army I was worried about attacked Boggerwold here. So we've got big line of ghosts, 2 mages, and 1 Hound of Twilight with the Ghost Rending Bite. That does quite a bit of damage. Our Banes are fairly well equipped, and of course they are going to Berserk and also regenerate, but fairly low hit points overall. So, a little bit worried about this. That's why I had them sitting back so that the Hound would hit them first. So the Hound charged in alone, did hit them first, got into combat, and then just outright aced one of the Banes. Hugely unfortunate. Kurgle the Bane here. The Hound of Twilight, what hit him in the body... So first of all, he bit through his shield. Did a ton of damage. 15 points of damage. And cut through the Vine Shield for his prot roll of 28 plus 2 and damaged the Vine Shield. And then he was hit in the body and killed. So he was killed in 1 round by the Ghost Rending Bites, which was unfortunate. The other Bane, however, hit back, gave the thing a chest wound, and then just straight out fought it, which was what I anticipated happening. It was hit by the Vine Shield effect, and Rend the Bane cut it down with his Flesh Eater. And after that, this battle went exactly as I intended these battles to go, with his high magic resistance, high protection, and the Vine Shield plus his regeneration. The regeneration actually didn't even come into play. The ghosts were not able to hurt Rend, and them throwing these spectral javelins actually killed a whole bunch of their own guys. So Rend actually never even went berserk because he never took a hit. He just stood here, chopping, and the ghost armies routed around him. Eventually. It did take a little while. So they all ran away. And Rend wins. So we killed off the Hound of Twilight, whole bunch of spectral units. We did lose 1 Bane, unfortunately. In White Forest, we reconquered the province. In Argo, we were attacked by this little army that I didn't really see sneaking up on me. Same in the Cursed Land. Saren Forest, we bounced a commander who was probing us, but that's fine. So, Rend here, this is actually probably too dangerous because he does have the dactyls there. The thing that could probably really screw Rend up would be lightning bolts. And lightning bolts can actually be cast underwater, interestingly enough. So, if we look at Therados real quick, we can see that dactyls start with 1 air and can random air 2. That and water elementals. They can summon water elementals, and water elementals will be able to beat Rend to death pretty efficiently with their multiple attacks and high damage. So probably honestly going underwater is a really bad idea. There's 2 Hounds of Twilight back here, which are, as we've seen, fairly effective Bane counters. So we're actually just going to dodge down here. Just keep dodging around, holding places under siege. You go over there and hold that under siege if they don't come back for it. And that will be good. Here's the big news over here. We are casting Father Ill-Earth with Runo, so we are summoning Pedosian, the blood-tainted king of elemental earth. He's blood 4 earth. He's earth 4 blood 3, 130 hit points, and regenerates at 15%. We're going to gear him fairly heavily, and then he's going to be casting big spells and serving as a super combatant, because of course we can gear him bigly and cheaply. Since we also hit blood 7, we're also casting Curse of Blood to get our first Vampire Lord, and we are also casting Infernal Disease with Kakara, who we empowered to up to blood 5 and gave a booster, up to blood 4 and gave a booster, actually. And we're casting Infernal Disease at Godhaven, right over here, in an effort to try and kill the Hekateride, who is here, and who I think... There's also a Dactyl here, must be, who's summoning the Hounds of Twilight. So the disease demon should have decent odds of taking care of that. Now we've got a bunch of Fiends of Darkness here and all kinds of troops, but unfortunately they're primarily magical, so we can't actually use them for things. I'm gonna give Nordman these wolves and have him patrol as well, because he might as well patrol. So we're forging a Ring of Regeneration. Nobody can. Father Illerith can't wear Boots of the Messenger, but we're forging some for other people anyway. We're also forging down here Armor of Knights, Dragon Helmet, Greatsword, Owl Quill. Up here we are forging a Lead Shield, and over here, of course, we're forging an Amulet of Anti-Magic, because losing to an MR Negates spell is a big reason why Pedosian sometimes dies. He's not terribly vulnerable otherwise, and actually, the other thing that I should do is I should forge Armor of the Elements. Because he's encumbrance 0, so this doesn't really matter, and it will give him resistance to, well, all the elements, which will be extremely useful for him. I think he's already resistant to some of them, but I don't think he's resistant to shock. Over here on the Cursed Land, I was casting Infernal Disease at the Cursed Land, because that would trap the commander there, and make sure he couldn't rampage around. Yeah, that's actually probably a better idea. Kakara, why don't you cast your Infernal Disease right there, because the Disease Demon, there's only one commander in this army, and the Disease Demon will kill him, which will trap the ghosts in place. This army is falling back and breaking up. I don't actually need to go there. This army, with the Telkeen in it, is quite dangerous. So, what I'm actually going to do is, I'm going to have Degilo attack, and Degilo is going to be scripted to summon Earth Power. What should Degilo be scripted to do? Maws of the Earth won't do anything. I just want him to, like, do something for a couple of rounds and then run away. I just want him to trigger gem usage, basically. Let's summon Earth Power, then let's cast Iron Skin, Temper Flesh. And retreat. 3 rounds, that should be enough time for spells to get cast, but it shouldn't be enough time to hit him, to get to him if he's in the back there. And Theodoric will move down here with the rest of the army. Up here, I've got my 2 Ulmish thugs. They could probably be taken out by an actual army is the thing. So I'm going to actually sneak Aoric down here. Well, I kind of want to keep them together. There's Jigu the Basalt King. Atlantis seems to be making some progress. They've got this fort under siege again. So Therados is under a lot of pressure from all sides, and I think this is their only real field army. So, once I have Father Illerith, I'll be in a lot better shape. I mean, I'm already in pretty good shape, to be honest, but he, with the proper resistances, which reminds me, I should forge a Snake Ring. Is he already immune to poison? Hold on. Yeah, he already has 15 poison resist, so he doesn't need any more poison resistance. So he'll have the Ring of Regeneration. He will have the Elemental Armor. He'll have the Dragon Helmet. He doesn't actually need that. Instead, I'll forge him a Crown of Lead. The Dragon Helmet gives morale and fire resistance and dark vision, but he already has all those. So yeah, let's give him a Crown of Lead. I don't have enough earth gems. Shoot. Okay, why don't we have you forge the Crown of Lead instead? forging another greatsword just to have it, I guess. Why don't you research instead, because I don't need that at the moment. We are forging another Girdle of Might, which will be good to have. And blood hunting and such continue apace. Let's get Lutebolt up here to search for things. These warrior chieftains are sneaking down here. We've got these two moving over here. We are attempting to storm Hinnom once again. We've got Cambria the Barbarian and Gerlach leading the charge with our several commanders assisting. And I think in the absence of their big ethereal giant doorstopper, we should be able to take Hinnom this time. I think. Cross your fingers, knock on wood. Could bring worm food in. Yeah, let's actually wait one turn. Let's not storm the castle just yet. We're going to maintain the siege, but that's a Baal who is pillaging that location. A Baal and 2 fiery imps. Let's send Hollow and Leper Love over to beat him up. And that'll be fine. Down here, we're just going to have to... We're breaking this siege with Gotteschalk, who is equipped similarly to the Banes. He's not as good because he only has 3 reinvigoration, so he will fatigue out. But this is a very small force, so if it stays there, he should be able to beat it. If it runs over here, it can probably cut through my province defenses. Just by virtue of people being ethereal, but we'll burn that bridge when we come to it. Wilhelm here can just research for a moment, and this guy can move down. I would like to take the Obsidian Waste because it's more Garnet Amazons, but I don't really need it right now. And I also don't need to start another war at the moment while I'm still fighting this one. You're blood hunting. You are blood hunting. We're down below 4,000 population here. So, Lydia, why don't you go to, Traveler's Rest. Lydia and both of you actually go down towards Traveler's Rest. And you can take with you Nordaman with his wolves. And we're already recruiting scouts there, so that'll be fine. We put some province defense in Illidar. We are holding the place. We're building a lab here, so we can use this as a reinforcement area. And with our 200 gold, 300 gold to upgrade to a fortress. It's 250. You're 120. You're 110. Let's stop recruiting them for the moment. We're going to upgrade to a fortress as well. So we're going to upgrade this place, make it a little bit tougher, give it 250 wall integrity, and we'll try to stack some units into it. Actually, probably Nordaman. Well, no, not Nordaman. What I need is I want to move some of my mages down with my Fiends of Darkness and my Shield Maidens. So let's send Meliath. Now, in terms of research, a little more conjuration would be really, really helpful. Because a little more conjuration would get me fire elementals in particular. Well, no, because fire elementals will get stabbed by magic weapons and murdered. Do I really want to go down conjuration? I'm kind of trying to figure this out, or do I want to go down evocation to get... Yeah, let's go down evocation, actually. Because blood magic level 7, we don't really need to go further than this. Certainly not right now. We can bind archdevils if necessary. We've got the Plague of Locusts, which we can use to decrease enemy dominion. We can, at this point, cast Astral Corruption. It hurts us pretty much as anybody else, except we have blood magic, so we can keep doing blood magic while Astral Corruption is in effect. It requires level 6 Astral, and Irminsul only has level 3, so he would need significant boosting in order to accomplish it. It would be kind of hilarious for Ulm of all nations to cast Astral Corruption, but, you know, it is what it is. Mictlan is the only other blood nation in the game. So casting Astral Corruption would basically make ritual magic very, very dangerous. Not worth it, I don't think, because I'm doing a whole lot of forging. And it makes forging dangerous. So, that's the plan. We're going to Infernal Disease this army, take these 2 provinces back. Probably going to lose this one. This army is probably going to move in right behind us. Got 19 blood slaves, so actually, factually, let's get the Fiery Imp production going again, insofar as we can. There we go. Let's bind up some Fiery Imps real quick. We'll get these Fiery Imps, we'll collapse into the fortress in the Cursed Land, so we will be able to hold the Cursed Land unless things go just absolutely disastrously wrong. Kind of regret moving all these blood mages away now. But let's get Meliath with the demons in the library, because she has 90 undead leadership. Get her with the demons and the mannequins. Yeah, that's fine. So Meliath, get up there, and we'll also send... Let's also send these 2 guys up there. We'll get into the fortress, and we will assemble a defense against this enormous horde of ghosts. The defense, of course, is going to lean heavily on poison resistance, and it's going to lean heavily on magic. Probably blood magic in particular. So, to be honest, I'd like to get these ladies back. We'll summon Father Ill-Earth next turn, and Father Ill-Earth should actually be able to break this army, because he's poison resistant and hugely regenerative, and we'll give him a weapon, and he will crush ghosts mightily, especially in his Armor of the Elements. So I think that's actually going to be the plan. In service of that, I am actually going to perform a little bit of alchemy, because what I want is I want to give him 2 firebrands. But that's going to take several gems each. So let's do some alchemy here. You forge a firebrand, because I don't think he needs a... I mean, I could give him a vine shield. That wouldn't be a bad idea. It would limit incoming damage, but to be honest, his incoming damage is already going to be highly limited. So let's forge firebrand. Don't need a dragon helmet because we've got the crown of lead coming. So you give that to Gaiseric. And he can forge... you just research for the moment. You forge a second firebrand, and then you can give that to Procus. And so that, I think, then I actually didn't need to alchemize as much as I did. In any case, we've got that all settled. So we'll have the Crown of Lead, we'll have the... Oh, that's right, I wanted him to have the lead shield. Oh, it's so hard to remember these things, because he has the lead shield for magic resistance. That's fine. So he only actually needs 1 firebrand. Then in that case... I'm sorry, I'm trying to think through my slots in my head. He's got a head slot, he's got 2 arm slots, he's got a Ring of Regeneration, he's got an Armor of the Elements. His other miscellaneous slot can be filled with another item. And that other item can be a Storm Spool, because that will shock anybody who hits him with lightning damage. And it will also give him even more shock resistance. Yeah. That's fine. Forge him a Storm Spool. Great. Okay. Sounds good. So Pedosion will be equipped. So he'll be summoned next turn, then he'll move up there. He might... I don't think he can get there in 1 turn, so it'll probably take 2 turns. But he'll be summoned the turn they move there. This turn they might move there. If they do, they'll break the walls, but then Pedosion will hit them before they can actually storm the fort. Great. So that fort is safe. And then we can actually send him underwater, because he, especially with 25% regen, he should be tough enough to take on some number of water elementals, especially if we send a whole bunch of skeletons with him to absorb the brunt of the water elemental attack. So, thanks for watching. That was turn 47. This is very, very interesting. We're also getting our first vampire this coming turn, so that'll be cool. And I will see you in turn 48. Alright, it's turn 45, and looky there. We have Pidocion, Father Ill-Earth. We also have our first Vampire Lord. We cast Infernal Disease, and we killed a Spectral Commander. It doesn't take us to the problems we actually cast it on, unfortunately. But you can see here, we cast it on this Spectral Commander, and we murdered him because disease demons murder people. At least if those people are not... I mean, he actually did hit the disease demon with a stab from his little spear there, with 2 stabs, no less. And then he immediately was killed, so the disease demon did his work quite well. And then we used that to... so we killed that army's commander to prevent it from moving anywhere, and then we bumped them in the Cursed Land here. We bumped them out, and they just fled, and so they all routed in different directions, and some of them will have died. In Gifa, we lost that province, so we do have troops spreading across. We have a single scout hit Peacehaven because I didn't have province defense in it, unfortunately. And I don't actually have any troops in Peacehaven either, so what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to summon some troops. I could summon some Clockwork Soldiers, or some Clockwork Horrors, or I can get Terracotta Army. Well, I can't actually. I can't afford Terracotta Army, because I'm spending all my gems on stuff. I'm actually going to get... Clockwork Soldiers would be really good, except they have Exhaustion 15. It's terrible. I'm going to summon some Ogres real quick. And I'm going to give this guy a sword and a Ring of Regeneration. I know that's dumb, but... Actually, if I give him a Bloodstone... that makes him Earth 3. Then I can give him some Earth Gems, and I can have him cast Earth Power and Lesser Earth Elementals. I still don't have Conjuration level 5, which is, it's really late in the game to not have Conjuration 5. I've been, it's turn 48, and I don't have Conjuration level 5. My research in general is not fantastic, but I do have a level 7. It's just blood. And I'm going up to Evocation level 5 before I even go to Conjuration level 5. So it's all sort of hilarious. I actually need to go to Conjuration level 6 for Magma Eruption. I mean, Evocation level 6 if I'm going down Evocation. Evocation level 5 will get me Shadow Blast. Unfortunately, Shadow Blast, as I've said before, does not affect the undead, so that really limits the usefulness of my Vampire. But it'll get me Falling Fires, and Falling Fires will do some work. Falling Fires, Falling Frost, Orb Lightning. Those are all spells I can potentially cast. Why am I going to Evocation level 5? Anyway, we're gonna do that, and then we're going down Enchantment to get the Earth Magic enchantments, because to be honest, I've been doing pretty well without Battle Magic. And I want to see if I can go down to level 7 and get Earthblood Deepwell, which would be pretty cool, in my opinion. I am summoning a second vampire. This vampire is moving down here. As I've said, I don't have great vampire spells right at the moment, but I do have a lot of these spells don't affect the undead, is the issue. Leech does. It doesn't affect inanimate, but it does affect undead. So, and Bloodburst doesn't, Bleed doesn't, most blood spells don't, but Summon Imps works. So I'm moving him down. I'm gonna give him, let's give him our one blood slave we have there. And actually, let's also give him this Demon Knight. And these ladies. In a line, so those ladies will hold an attack closest, and this Demon Knight with his Demon Knightness. Demon Knights are really, really good units. He will hold an attack rear, and Heartless will cast spells. And he will first, probably... I'm thinking leech first, and then cast spells. He'll be right up front there. So basically the point of that is he'll move down here and he'll be with these folks. And then we'll take Alia and Polly and we'll set them up near where he'll be as well. So that if they pick up any blood slaves, he'll be able to use them. And this is so if this little army that's besieging Illidar moves across here to attack me, I'll have a little bit of something to stop them. Just a little bit of something, something. Jordanes is going to research, because I don't have the blood slaves right now to be summoning more demon knights. I have more blood slaves coming in. Oiric, or Uric, or I think it's Oiric, needs to move over there. I don't know why this guy is here, but he's going to carry his slaves down to the Weald. We are storming Hinnom this turn. We went and we killed this Baal. It was here, in Old Man Mountains. So this Baal was just standing around chilling as he does, with an imp. And he's got his copper plate on. And he was unscripted, so he just charged into combat with the skeletons, and the skeletons hacked him down. Not much of a problem. And like I said, there's a lot of raiding and counter raiding going on. We retook Arcos Fale, killed a scout. In Neotha, we took that province. We took Old Man Mountains. We took Cliff Coast with our Bane. So we're still locking down his forts, being as annoying as we possibly can. We're breaking the siege here. Probably this army is going to move off. Like I said, it's probably going to go either here or here. It might go down here. If it goes there, I'm not too worried about what it's doing, to be fully honest. But I might move a major too. The issue mainly is that my earth magic does not work on ghosts. Now, what I could do is I could move some horticulturists and have them cast Swarm once or twice each. That army in Illidar is what? 44 units. Yeah, I could. I could do that. I could totally do that. I don't need you. I don't need two pathers. Just you put that away. You put that away, and you give that to him. And so you four move over there. We will give you each 2 nature gems. Actually, we'll give you each 3 nature gems. And we will script you to cast Swarm twice. And so each swarm will give us 20 bugs. So that's 80, that's 160 bugs, 160 bugs. Well, 160 bugs might not be able to take on that many ghosty goos. What other good magic do we have that could work on them? Well, let's look at our earth magic. Earth spells do not really work on ghosts is the unfortunate bit. Water? Not water 1. Slime is kind of a hilarious spell. What about fire and air? Once again, not at level 1. I mean, combustion hurts. It does hurt ghosts, but it's not really helpful. What I can do is I can take fire mages, fire 1 mages. I can have them cast. I can have them use a fire in a jar. This actually may be a good case for using it. So Majin Fred, but I'm forging stuff with them right at the moment. Do I really need another Shield of Gleaming Gold? No. So let's take the fire in a jar there. Majin Fred is forging a lightless lantern, which I actually really could use. That's kind of the thing. I'm not too bothered if I lose this province, to be honest. I mean, it's a significant chunk of income, but I'll just take it back. It won't hurt me all that much, to be fully honest. Although I do have some blood mages moving down there that I would like to defend. What if I took... What if I took Iata? Iata can't reach there in one turn. Okay. Anyway, let's get on to the main event. Pedosian. Pedosian, the Father Illerth. High protection, naturally regenerates at 15%. 130 hit points, Earth 4, Blood 3. Currently, I'm using him as a super combatant, which is actually a little bit less than ideal, but it's what I need right now. So I've given him full gear. He's got a lead shield, Crown of Lead, Amulet of Anti-Magic, Firebrand, Elemental Armor, and a Storm Spool. The Storm Spool gives him more shock resistance, 15. Plus, it means that anybody who hits him takes 1 armor-negating shock damage and might be stunned. The Firebrand, of course, is a Firebrand. All these other items increase his magic resistance to make him magic resistance 26. And the elemental armor gives him resistance to all elements. Actually, I'm going to swap that Storm Spool out for a Ring of Regeneration. So now he regenerates at 25%. In other words, he's regenerating about 30 hit points, a little over, like 33 hit points around. He's nearly impossible to kill. And what he can do is he's casting Summon an Earth Power and then Temper Flesh. That's all he needs to cast. Iron Skin would increase his protection, but not by all that much, because his natural protection is 13 already, and will go up by 1 more point when he summons Earth Power to make it 14. So increasing his nat prop by 6, because of the way it stacks with armor, would actually only increase his total protection by 1 or 2. I think 2. I think it would make him 26 protection. Which isn't really worth the extra fatigue, since while his encumbrance is 0, his spellcasting encumbrance is 14, so he takes 14 extra fatigue from every spell he casts. But basically, he's going to summon Earth Power, Temper Flesh, so he only takes half damage. And of course, he has the magic resistance, so from against ghosts, he only takes half damage almost all the time anyway. And then he'll just roll into combat and not die. He has Morale 30, so he won't break until the auto rout period kicks in. And he causes fear, so he should rout other people around him before that. We're going to set him on attack rear, so he will try to charge through the enemy army. And he is going to move over here, and if they come down to besiege the Cursed Land, Pedosian will break the siege. And he will absolutely be able to do that. Like, that is not a problem. We're going to stick some quills on these folks for right now, since they are researching. Don't need to be carrying all those gems, friend. Actually, down here, I could probably use those gems. Can't quite summon more ogres. What else could you do, Gerulf? Well, you can Iron Skin and Temper Flesh. That will make your protection really high, and then I think you should be able to go in with the Great Sword of Sharpness and pretty much just kill the ghosts off. It's not that many ghosts. You do have 5 encumbrance, but when you cast Summon Earth Power, yeah, I think you should be able to handle it. So, Gerulf is going to go over... Gerulf is going to break the siege by his lonesome. It's only a scout. These troops in Gefa... They've got 10 Spectral Hoplites, and you can see Spectral Hoplites are very, very good at killing, you know, things without magical weapons. They were up against significantly province defense that outnumbered them significantly, and it just didn't matter, because with the etherealness and all... They don't take a whole lot of damage. So they just kind of cut through and they made everyone run away. Unfortunately, Therados is very, very good at raiding for this reason. That fort, I was not able to finish upgrading it because I came under siege. He's summoning quite a few Hounds of Twilight, which is definitely the correct move for dealing with Rend, since they have those multiple attacks. And actually killing Rend is the only way to get rid of him, because he doesn't fatigue out, and he berserks so he doesn't run. He has also unequaled obesity, so his hit points are going up, and his strength is higher. But, and his encumbrance doesn't matter, because he's a melee unit. That is 100 malicious thralls and vampires. Fascinating. And of course, these areas are absolutely ruined by Therados' pop kill domain. This is why, this right here is why I was trying so hard to keep it out. Even though it's very low, when you have that many candles lined up, several percent per turn, plus the death, which is 0.6% per turn. It adds up. This province has been under Therados' domain for what, 30 turns now? Something like that? It's destroyed. It's gone. I would really like this Conjurer's Circle, because that gives me a conjuration bonus. And that would be extremely nice. I would also like to kill that Hakataride, but for that... So I guess the question is, do I need another vampire right now? And I think the answer is no. I don't need another vampire this turn. So, we are going to cast Infernal Disease on Godhaven. And I think we're going to cast Infernal Disease on Godhaven 3 times. Because we can. We can and we should. That'll cost us 15 blood slaves. The rest of my blood slaves should, I think, be spent empowering Sag in blood one more time. That'll make him level 4. We can hand him a Bloodthorn, and then he will be level 5, and then we will have 4 Infernal Disease casters. And that will be all kinds of fun. Or actually, instead of empowering, can't you forge a, we need a level 5 to forge an Armor of Souls. I think we need a level 5 to forge any of the Blood Boosters. Yeah, the Brazen Vessel also requires level 5. It's slightly cheaper than empowering is why I'm looking at it. But it would take a level 5 turn as opposed to his level 3 turn. So yeah, we're just going to empower him. It'll cost 60 slaves. We have more slaves coming in. We didn't capture any in Troya, which was disappointing. I'm not sure why. I mean, I guess we just rolled really badly. But, oh well. We'll be fine. Our unrest here is getting a little bit unmanageable. You can't lead those, can you? No, you can't. Didn't think so. Well, take those wolves. Patrol with them, at least. What else? So, Iada is moving out with some troops, which she actually probably doesn't need to do. She can move down there. Where is Iada? She's got 46 fiery imps, and she herself has death magic. Including Dust to Dust. So she can cast, because Dust to Dust is precision 0, so it can miss. So she can cast Eagle Eyes and then Dust to Dust a whole bunch of times. Because there's no recourse against Dust to Dust, it just kills the undead, including, of course, ghosts. We'll set those to hold an attack closest, and we'll set 5 of them to Guard Commander. Excuse me again, wow. Bad night for the cough. She's got an Amulet of Anti-Magic, so her magic resistance is fairly high. She doesn't actually need that. If she gets in combat, she's in trouble. She doesn't need combat items. But she could maybe use some Boots of the Messenger for reinvigoration to allow her to dust a little bit longer. So yeah, basically I'm trying to set up countermeasures in case this army moves to different places. We've got the swarms going. Actually, I'm just gonna not worry about that. What I want is I want you to forge More fire in a jar or a lightless lantern? Let's forge a lightless lantern. Now, in terms of recruitment, we're going to recruit a guy there. I don't know why my mage recruitment seems to be turned off in some places, but we're going to do that. We're recruiting her there. Down here, we are going to start recruiting warrior smiths in Arcocephali, now that we have that option. And we have Gotteschalk as well. So Gotteschalk is going to go and take that to make sure they have to keep moving. And we can get our hidden gold mine back. We've got lots of, like, small groups of ghosts kind of scattered through here. This is actually Therados' free spawn, I believe. So actually, to be honest, what I want to do is, first of all, I want to kick the province defense here back up to 11. And then actually, Gotteschalk wants to go down there. And in terms of other things to do, Blanco, we can give him a sword and boots and a storm spool to stun people who attack him. And then he can go, let's say, there. Reanimating more skeletons and reviving another Mound King up here, so we will have a whole bunch of skeletons to take with us. We are blood hunting in this province, and it looks like nobody is patrolling, so we definitely will need a Mound King. Temporarily lost my mind. To lead skeleton patrollers in the Weald. Just to ensure the unrest does not get unmanageable. These two, tell you what, let's send Hollow back. Leper Love. What a name, Leper Love. Ugh. Ugh. 20 barbarians. I think Leper Love can take on 20 barbarians, so we'll go take on those guys, take that province back. At some point we'll want to take those troglodytes as well, but we'll see about all that. And we are butting up against Niflheim a little bit, but I'm not too worried about him. He seems to have some troubles. Is still alive. I am kind of impressed, to be honest. Has managed to fight off Turnanog. He's been fighting Mictlan a little bit at different times. It's pretty good. And Mictlan is summoning Civitateu, which is Civitateu, which is pretty good for him too. That's solid right there. Drop a little bit of province in here, defense in here, just to be a nuisance. Tell you what, actually. I'm wondering where this army is going to go. I think it's going to come for the Cursed Land. That would make sense. It might go for Tamiglia just to be obstreperous. And actually, White Forest. Shoot, I didn't get to look at it because White Forest was undefended. Darn. We've got Eoric and Anianas, and we've also got Dagilo. And unfortunately, Dagilo is in an awkward position because he is not stealthy. So we need these two to move together in an effort to get out of enemy territory here. Because otherwise I'm just going to lose Dagilo and it'll be unfortunate. I don't want him scripted to retreat. Actually, hold up. Dagilo attacked Marverni. Oh, but he was scripted to retreat. That's right. He was bouncing in an effort to see army. And trigger gem usage. Yeah, okay. That's fair. I was too clever for my own good. Actually, since we have him, we can cast Iron Warriors twice, and then Temper Flesh on himself. And Anianas can stand right in front of him and hold for 2 turns. Actually, he can even hold for 3 turns, so that he can get Iron Warriored. And that will kick his protection up to something pretty ridiculous, to be honest. So those two can go and fight. I mean, full disclosure. Two heavy thugs like this might be able to take on that army. They would rout, I think, is the problem, because their morale is not perfect. So they would start taking morale checks and run away. If it weren't for that, and they would run out of fatigue. They would get worn down by an army that size. They're just not good enough. Yeah, so, okay. But this guy is stealthy, so they shouldn't know where he is. I think this army is going to move forward. So I'm going to sneak Eoric into White Forest. This army will move forward somewhere. Hopefully, it will move into this province in an effort to break this fort. If it does, then I will have Eoric attack White Forest, while Pedosian attacks them in the Cursed Land and wins and breaks the army, and they will rout and they'll have nowhere to run to and so be destroyed. Ideally. If it doesn't work out that way, then it doesn't work out that way, and it may well not. Like, that's something that he can defend against if he's worried about it. And he probably should, but we'll see how it goes. So that's, I think, going to be the turn. I've actually taken longer on this turn than I meant to. But as you can see, the war against the ghosts continues. The blood continues. We're doing a pretty good job, to be honest. Let's get Heartless. Yeah, let's get Heartless right down there. And we'll actually set him up to cast Leech and then Dust to Dust a whole bunch of times. And that'll be fine. Alright, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in turn 49.